So here's how we started the year. As a family, we were COVID positive. Myself, my wife, my mom, and my 3-year-old son. So the only person sa family namin in the household who didn't get the virus was actually my dad. What makes it a little tricky is that my wife is pregnant. It's actually due. In fact, based dun sa huling ultrasound that she had, expected date is the 25th of January. Well, she was actually the first to be confirmed COVID positive. So when we got the news na COVID positive siya, so City Health actually encouraged us for her to be isolated because of her condition. But we were actually fighting na sana dito na lang siya sa bahay. But the protocol says it's actually much better for her to stay in the isolation facility so that in kaso lang na madatnan yung panganganak, it's gonna be easier for them to actually help us to send him or bring him to the state hospital, because yung sa state hospital is actually the only hospital equipped to actually deliver the baby for COVID positive patients. Fast forward a few days after, because na-confirm nga siya na COVID positive, we had to also do our own tests. Okay, so doon namin nalaman. So the 4 of us, my mom, my dad, myself, and my 3-year-old son all got tested Wednesday. 2 days after na-confirm na COVID positive siya. And doon nga nalaman namin, except for my father, the 3 of us actually also were COVID positive. Ayun, so that's how we started the year. So it affected actually how we run our channel, because yun nga, it stopped us from producing a new episode. Actually, yung new episode, yung first episode, is supposed to be about a hotel that is also struggling because of the pandemic. So yun, well, we'll do a lot of things to catch up later on sa schedule ng aming channel. But for now, this is the kwento of our family having COVID. In fact, just to add dun sa kwento namin as a family, myself and about my family, si Arnold, who is also part of this channel, was also confirmed COVID positive just this week. No, the last week, this weekend. Okay. So, our production team is not at its 100% capacity because of yun, sa pandemic. So you might be wondering what we did during our isolation period. The things that we mostly did were merely normal things. Okay, the only thing that wasn't normal during our isolation period is that we could not go out. That's it. We still talk to our relatives, although from a distance. So we don't actually go out beyond the gates of our house. They hand over to us the food that we have, the food that we need. Okay, the things that we ask them to buy. Okay, that's one. So, sobrang normal siya kung tutuusin. Every day, this is what I usually do to make it very, very normal. Pagka nagsisimula na siyang dumilim, I would turn on all the lights in front of our house so that we don't feel na padilim na naman siya. And I would play very loud songs by late afternoon, para at least, di ba, nawawala yung sadness to the situation. But I think one of the biggest realization that we had sa experience namin is that the support system from our close relatives, the barangay unit, Barangay 11, Santa Balbina, Lawag City, shout out, are all very important because yung close relatives mo, and this is actually what I realized, no matter our indifferences, they didn't turn their backs on us. So we're very, very thankful na ganon. When they talk to us, when they hand over food or stuff, walang pandidire. And I guess, nakatulong rin that, yun nga, it happened this year. And even yung mga friends ko, mga close friends ko, also probably helped me or us feel that we are very, very normal. Some of them, without siguro mentioning their names na, yun, gave us ayuda. One friend of mine gave a very plenty vegetables for us. Another friend of mine actually gave meat products. Okay, 2 friends of mine actually gave meat products. Okay, a few relatives gave eggs, fish, and all those stuff. Okay, hindi na mabilang. Okay, so we're very lucky that the support coming from our relatives and friends are really, really there. In fact, shout out din dun sa si Miss Raysian Paredes, the owner of Snorific Ilawag, because when she found out that we were COVID positive, she sent us detox drinks and her best-selling chicken wings. Okay, Miss Raysian is actually featured sa ating 4th episode of Ilocos Catch. So you may want to actually go back sa video list namin and watch that video. Our 4th episode featuring Snorific Lawag. And thank God for food delivery. Meron nga very touching story of a food delivery service eh. Okay, I'm not gonna mention the service anymore. But the guy who actually delivered the last set of food that I ordered during the weekend was actually riding a mountain bike. Okay. So, nagulat ako kasi parang, ang alam ko, pagka nagka-bike ka, yun, you only do it as a hobby. But that guy actually used his bike, not for leisure, but for profit and business. Shout out to you, kuya. Galing. So yung realization namin, ako, from COVID is actually a lot of things actually, both good and bad. At first, syempre, hindi mo maiwasan yung takot eh. The takot is always there. Okay, regardless of your nationality, regardless of you are where you are in the world, automatic, our reaction would be fear. Why? Because it's the first time in our lifetime that we are dealing with this kind of problem. Another realization that I had because of this experience is that we are lucky enough that it happened this year. We're lucky that it didn't happen last year with our family. We're lucky that it didn't happen in 2020. Because if it happened during those times when fear is at its highest, it could have been a totally different story. Another realization that we had as a family, because of what happened with us this year, is that thank God we are fully vaccinated. Okay? But my wife actually is partially vaccinated because of yun nga dahil buntis siya. Okay? But we are very thankful that we are fully vaccinated before these things happen. To everyone, to all the people who are questioning kung effective ba talaga yung ating mga vaccines, let me be the first to tell you guys, it is actually effective. it might not actually help you prevent mild COVID. But regardless of the vaccine, of the brand of vaccine that you got, the one thing it's gonna make sure na ibibigay sa'yo is protection against severe COVID. Hindi po actually nakakatulong to have misplaced fear. That is one thing na dapat po nating matutunan. Yes, we are afraid of what's happening. Yes, we should be afraid of what's happening because we really don't know up until now the proper way of dealing with these things. But it should not actually go to the kind where it's already a misplaced kind. Okay? A lot of people out there, their fear is so misplaced that they question the effectiveness of vaccines. They could not move on yet. They are afraid of a lot of things. They don't want to do things that they were doing before. All because of misplaced fear. Let me be the first to actually tell you guys, no? The only thing na pwede mong gawin, especially when something like this, sana naman wag mangyari, happens to you, is it's better to actually prepare how you react when it happens rather than do everything to avoid getting infected. Because in a given situation, in a given pandemic, lumalaki yung chances of us getting infected. And in fact pa nga, you might not know it yet, but you might already be having the virus. Okay? Kasi hindi mo naman malalaman na may virus ka hindi mo may COVID ka unless you got tested. So when you got sick, yun, pwedeng hindi rin, may option ka rin, di ba, na to get tested. You stay at home, and then that's it. Okay? In fact, ang nag-trigger po pala ng aming situation, why we got isolated, is because yun nga, my wife is having scheduled follow-ups sa isang hospital. So, as a protocol, because she declared that she has colds, so the doctor has to require her to actually undergo RT-PCR. So, doon nalaman na parang COVID positive siya and nag-trigger din ng aming test sa aming apat. So yung track record ng channel namin, Ilocos Catch, is I would say hindi man siya uber impressive, but at least we are on the right track into making sure that we produce quality videos. So last year we're able to actually produce already a total of 6 episodes before the year ended. Well, technically speaking, yung pang-anim na episode is actually a mini-series. It had actually 5 videos on it. So in total, we're already able to produce 6 episodes for our channel. But for this year, I'm pretty sure once we are actually back on track, we'll be able to actually produce better videos, quality videos in the coming days and weeks.